Right, how are we all doing, folks? I am back, and seeing as it's Halloween, which means the winter's coming, joy, it's time for a review, and I figured that it's only fair that I do pumpkin pie. But before we do that, it is the unveiling. Now, I did crack this open yesterday, and I was damned impressed with it. So I'm going to unveil it on here. Now, what this is how you build yourself a tobacco press on a budget. Well, kind of. The main box that it's in is a Cuban cigar box, Party Gas Serie ID number 4. It's a pure cedar. It's kind of done as it's like a cedar plywood sort of thing. But, you know, so cedar. Not going to impart anything nasty into the tobacco, and you know, it's reasonably porous. So because it's porous, I preloaded the cedar with a bit of moisture. So I used some distilled water with a little bit of antifungal on the cloth, rubbed it around the inside of the box 2 or 3 times. So I should explain more before I do this. I cut the lid down so the lid sits inside. I did cut it a little bit too small, but it makes it easier to get in and out. And then to not damage any of the actual box, even though I have actually split the box open with the pressure, I've just used these bits of pine to act as a plate across the top, and then 2 G-clamps either side to up the pressure. And this box is pretty much perfect for holding 500 grams pound of tobacco. So as I say, there's just some little wooden slats on the bottom, and inside is my crumble cake. So it's wrapped up inside greaseproof paper, and as you can see, I have squeezed out some of the moisture and things like that from the actual tobaccos that I've been compressing. And luckily, to my amazement yesterday, it hasn't all gone disastrously wrong. I had very little onto this. One of the ingredients. Oh, this is a BurPer cake, by the way. This is my Berlin Perique BurPer. Well, you got a vapor, you got to have a BurPer, haven't you? So this is my BurPer cake. I think when I mixed it, I got a little bit too much moisture on just here. On the whole, it's a natural tobacco. There is a small amount of dark flue and light flue cured Virginia with a little bit of inverted maple sugars added onto it. And that must be what this moisture patch is just here. But no, this is a tobacco that I've been making for a while. It did have another name originally, but seeing as I no longer work there and can no longer call it that, it's no longer that tobacco. And I tried this in a small 25 gram pack, a small 25 gram press, which I used a G-clamp and 2 tobacco tins, one a bit bigger, one a bit smaller, and they just kind of concertinaed inside each other. So this has been the first test. This has been in the press for 2 weeks, and like I say, the first time I've done anything on a scale this big. But like I say, this isn't the first unveiling. I unveiled this yesterday. Well, I wrapped it for myself yesterday, but that is a ½ kilo crumble cake. I just think it's amazing. This is the biggest size of a batch I produce of any tobacco, and it smells more mapley than the standard. As you can see, I've had a bit off this corner. Tried it yesterday, and it's very different to how it works if it's not been pressed. The tobacco which this is based on has a very sweet start and just gets progressively drier and progressively spicier. I'll put this down, I'll fumble it all night. Gets progressively dry and progressively spicier as you work your way through. You kind of lose the sweet mapleness from the beginning, but that, from the word go, is just balanced perfect. Can't complain about it at all. It's not as dynamic, which is one thing I liked about the original tobacco, can say Americana, and yeah, I say it's lost the dynamics, but it's a lot more balanced and refined. You get a pretty much consistent taste. There is still a little bit of dynamics going off in the flavour, but on the whole it's fairly consistent all the way through. And it takes 2 weeks to produce, for me to press. I only have 1 press, and that block is pretty much already sold. So I need to make some more. So I may shoot another video later, me just showing you how I put it together. But like I say, it's I can't buy raw leaf. I can't get the burley that I use in this in any thicker cut than what it already is at the moment. My supplier of that burley doesn't really provide tobaccos like that. It just comes pre-cut in a ribbon. I can have all the other tobaccos in a very thick wild cut, sort of half to an inch square pieces, basically just roughly shredded leaf. But it's no good if the burley, which is about 60% of that tobacco, is all in a ribbon cut. So they're in essence all ribbon, shag and cube cuts. There's a little bit of wild cut in there as well. And so it's almost like a plug. You basically just need to snap a piece off and you can just gently rub it. Like a flake, the more you rub it, the more it breaks apart. So your best bet is to just twist it to fit, get it into the pipe, give it a little twinkle as it goes sort of thing, so it just loosens it up enough, and then sprinkle a fine bit over the top. Unlike a flake, if you really rub at this stuff, it will not break down any more than what the ribbon and the coarse cut already is in there, because it's already cut. It won't break down any more than that. Well, depending on how you cut it, I guess. But anyway, so less of me spending 6 minutes or so talking about BurPer cake. Oh, it smells good though. Onto the snuff. Now, I have a bit of a confession to make before I actually even start this review. I am not a fan of pumpkin at all, in any way, shape or form. They're good for carving with, and that's about it really. So I'm going into this with an impression in my mind already. So before I even smell it out of the tin, let's let you have a look. It's a typical Toque brown, golden brown sort of, looks like an extremely, very finely ground snuff. Like the Crazy George, got a nice bit of moisture, and from the tin, I can remember Habanos Karlos mentioning the ammonia aspect. It does have a slightly ammonia twang, and also a slightly alcoholic one as well. I can't think what that reminds me of. Reminds me of some liqueur of some description, but there is a slight pumpkin-y kind of smell there. So without further ado, let's see what she does. And it smells like clove. No. Yeah. Like a clovey, cinnamony kind of winter spice smell to it, more than pumpkin. That is definitely a clovey cinnamon smell. That doesn't smell pumpkin-y at all to me, to be honest. That's actually quite nice though. It's got a little bit of a kick, there's a bit of a burn at the back of your nose. There is a bit of a burn, and I say it's quite dry, so excuse me. I hate powdery snuffs. Oily, moist snuffs are the way forward. But that's actually quite pleasant. I'm gonna try the nip and tuck method. I picked that up from, oh geez, a Canadian snuff reviewer. Oh god, I've forgotten the guy's name now. But anyway, it's a technique I picked up from him. He does the same thing. He kind of twists it and then folds it around the lip of the inside of your nose. And if it's a really fine, dry, powdery snuff, it stays there and you get a gradual release of the aroma. You don't get much of a hit of nicotine, but you still do, every time you breathe in through your nose gently, you still do get a little tiny whiff of it. I spilt it all over the desk. I dread to think what else is mixed in with this. Oh. But no, that's more enjoyable than I thought it would be. Like I say, you come into these things and you've got your kind of misconceptions. So I'm trying to not get the reflection of the screen in my glasses. You get the kind of, you go into it already thinking you're not going to like it. But no, I was actually pleasantly surprised by that. Like I say, it's more of a cinnamony, clovey, almost a mulled wine sort of smell. I've been doing the finishing touches to my Christmas tobacco, so my nose has pretty much been full of things like cinnamon and nutmeg and what else? We've got cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, yeah, all sorts of things going off in that, and that's pretty much been in my nose all day from working on that. But no, so and before I forget, I've had a long day and baby not sleeping much, so yeah. The GQTobaccos YouTube channel is now live. I've shot an introductory video this morning, and I've got another video which I need to do some editing on later on today. Hence why there's a bit of a backdrop behind me. Look, woo! So yeah, there'll be some more videos coming on there. So head on over to that channel. Links in bucket in the bottom, as you'd know. And like I say, I'm probably gonna have a tiny amount of BurPer cake left after I do all the pre-orders that are going out tomorrow, and it's going to be 2 weeks till I'll have any more again. So if anybody wants any BurPer cake from the next batch, get your pre-orders in now, because it's going to be the way I'm making it, the way it's going at the moment, the amount of people that keep ordering it. I'm going to have to make a second press. I need a bigger press, basically. I don't like making in more than 500 gram block from 500 gram batches, because it's more difficult to tell if you've got an even, consistent mix. The smaller the batch, the easier it is to blend, and I find 750 gram, kilogram batches are a little bit too much, so you can't visually tell if you've got an even mix in. So yes, I think that pretty much should cover it. 12 minutes for a snuff review and to crack open the press. So anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching. Shall see you all soon. Take care. Goodbye.